You ready for the poll results?
Let me hear him.
Okay. I will, because I'm obligated to tell everyone the results. I don't know if you guys are ready for this.
I think I know.
Do you know? 100% first off.
Minecraft just has to be it.
That was a good argument for it.
No, it really wasn't.
He has a PC he wanted me to fix, but he can't find it because his relatives stole it. So that's how scarce PCs are in the Chadwick family. Like your cousins just come over and loot you for your PC that doesn't even work.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They were like, "We need a PC. We don't have one. We'll take yours, Chad, but it doesn't even work." Like it's crazy market over there. I don't know where he hangs out. Let's just do percentages. Makes it.
That's all I did last time.
And there's like 300 votes.
So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to Show Boys. We're here. This should be episode 2 of the 2024 March Madness Console Wars. We're here with a familiar face, one of our regular hosts, obviously, co-founder of Show Boys, Pixel Nick. He will be representing the PC division of the tournament this year. So first off, how's it going, Nick? How does it feel to be like not up here, but like down there?
Yeah. It feels pretty good. This is actually really exciting because, it's been 2 weeks since I've recorded anything. So I feel like I really am a guest right now. Enough time has elapsed to where I really feel like a guest, and you guys have taken control of enough of this where I don't really know what's going on anymore. I'm kind of showing up like the other 4 guests, I think.
Don't get too comfortable with that. You're coming back.
Oh, it's nice.
Doing your job.
It's nice.
He's a guest in his own home. Yes, you're here. Glad to have you. Of course, it's been a couple weeks, so excited about that. But also joining me, same as last week, and for the entirety of the March Madness tournament this year is Dad and Kumino, my fellow judges on the panel. Dad, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm great.
Awesome. Short and succinct, just like you. Kumino, what's up, my dude?
Ooh, yeah. Macho Madness is in the house, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. So before we get in, gotta shout out the top tier patrons, of course, Tim B, Yusuf H, and honorary Hall of Fame member Joe C. Thank you guys so much for your support. All of our other lovely patrons, you guys rule as well. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just short story after I do this. Thank you guys for your support. Check out patreon.com/showboyspodcast for more information on how you can sign up to become a patron and what we offer in each tier of our Patreon. Exclusive monthly episodes, early access to episodes, all that fun stuff. Go check it out, patreon.com/showboyspodcast. I had a dinner cooking accident tonight. I was trying to make some quesadillas in the pan and went to turn the quesadilla a little bit because stuff was starting to fall out with my hand and missed the quesadilla and just put my finger right on the pan. So bad job out of me. But I
so
just
you don't normally do the cooking in your house. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll go with that. But yes. PC region tonight. If you're just tuning in for the first time during the tournament, go back and watch episode 181, where we went over the Xbox division with the lovely guest from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, Anthony. We are doing a March Madness tournament just like we did last year, but this time we are trying to decide the ultimate console exclusive game. So we've pitted Nintendo, Xbox, PC, and Sony against each other, each console having its own region of the bracket, 16 games for each region. And we're going through region by region, whittling down the games until we have one game standing for that region in the semifinals. So Tonight we are tackling PC with our resident PC enthusiast, Nick. And since I'm assuming people probably know you if they've watched or listened to any episodes of Showboys in the past, I'm not going to have you introduce yourself. However, why don't you tell us a little bit about your PC gaming experience and what made you want to be the representative for the PC region this year?
I had to be. No.
Good answer, but let's make up a better one.
Okay, right. Yeah, it's funny as you're saying that. I was like, how did I become like the resident like PC expert? At least enough to say I'll host and represent PC on March Madness. I don't know how that happened. But no, I've had a PC since as long as I can remember, from like the vanilla whatever color, ugly yellow, right, box with the red switch, to nice 2001. Oh yeah, the big floppy disk, like the
actual floppy disk. Yeah,
they're actually floppy, not bendy, floppy. Yeah, and then
Mike, you wouldn't know.
No,
he's too young, I guess.
Even though you're younger than me, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, everyone had where everyone had Game Boys. I had like laptops and eventually a desktop in like 2007. I got one because of one of the games on this here list, going up against the other 15. But yeah, and then ever since then, I've always kind of had a PC as an anchor because I do so many other things on the PC. I always have a PC that's up and running, ready to go. Versus like I might be between consoles and that kind of thing. So yeah, somehow. Any other questions for my PC? What is that? Credentials?
No, but I do want to shout you out because you said, you mentioned you always seem to have a PC up and running doing stuff. And we just want to give you the respect and props you deserve for hosting all of the Showboys dedicated servers for our lovely survival crafting gang with Pow World, Valheim, and Enshrouded. Thank you so much. And also, if you guys, you may have noticed if you follow us on Twitch or are in our Discord, but last week, pretty much all week, we had our Twitch page running 24/7, just re-airing our backlog of content. So if you ever get bored and you see us live on Twitch, head over. You can catch one of our old episodes, and you could catch some Pokemon because we have Pokemon community game running in the chat. So feel free to come hang out with me while I'm working and catch up on some Showboys.
But don't think we're not being rude if we don't respond because it's not actually live.
Yes, it is not live. It says right in the title, so hopefully
I tried.
You guys read the title.
But I say that because I tried talking to you guys, but you wouldn't respond to me, and I felt like, wow, you guys are totally.
What's new? I mean, that's pretty much every time. Thank you for doing that, Nick.
Yeah, of course. It's fun. I guess I just have abundance of PCs. I guess I'm a pack rat when it comes to electronics. Fire it up. Also, running that. So obviously it's in my basement and it's always up on a screen playing. Can't hear it, but I see it as I walk by every once in a while. And dude, like I forgot how much Jordan used to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Rip, man.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, remember that guy, everyone?
Yeah. No, and like you said, I'd pop on the Twitch page and just be like, oh, I remember that episode. That was such a fun conversation with I believe the one that caught my attention the most was our episode with Ben Berman, the American Gladiators director of that documentary. That was such a cool conversation, and that dude was hilarious. So that was super fun to be reminded of that. So make sure you check out Twitch, follow us over there, Showboys Podcast on Twitch.
You can also watch on our website, showboysmedia.com.
That's true. Now that we got all the pleasantries out of the way, last week Anthony was a new guest, so we had to get to know Anthony. But I had to, fill some time here with you, even though we already know you. But we're going to go over the criteria again. Nick, your first time on a March Madness episode this year. The criteria has changed a little bit as the topic of the tournament has changed. So here are the 6 categories that we will be kind of using to determine our conversations through each matchup. Like we did last week, we are going to rely very heavily on the poll results for round 1. And then as we progress further into the bracket by round, the conversation between each game and the matchup will kind of get a little more deeper. We'll kind of touch on some of the categories here in the criteria if we need to. And then, of course, we'll use this criteria in the Final Four and the championship debate. But for now, the 6 categories are gameplay mechanics, the overall quality, depth, and complexity of the gameplay mechanics, including the gameplay loop, controls, balance, replayability, and technical performance. Story and narrative, so the overall quality of the game's story, character development, and narrative structure, and how the narrative unfolds using gameplay. The aesthetics, overall quality of the visual presentation of the game, including the graphics, art style, music, sound, design, etc. Innovation, how the game pushed boundaries or introduced new ideas or mechanics within its genre or the game industry as a whole. Was the game able to make a noticeable shift in the field of gaming? The 5th category is fun factor, pretty self-explanatory. How enjoyable and entertaining the game is to play, taking into account personal preferences and the opinions of the audience. And then we have a bonus category being community engagement. So this is the impact made with the audience, including memorability, size of the player base, and the impact on player community and post-launch support. So those will be the categories we'll be going through for our criteria for each matchup. With that being said, Nick, do you have any questions before we get started tonight?
I don't think so. I quickly found the graphic so I could see these as you were reading them, so that definitely helped. You got 2 through, and I was like, I'm not retaining any information.
Well, hopefully Dad has his big boy editing pants on and has them up on the screen for you guys. And I got, we're doing these recordings kind of, real close to each other here in the beginning of the month. So I got a sneak peek of some of the editing that Dad's been doing on the Xbox episode, and it's turning out nice. He's doing a good job over there.
It's a mediocre job.
Aggressively mediocre.
I gotta maintain that.
Yeah, that's right. So let's get right into it. Match 1. Are you ready, Nick?
I guess so.
Okay, so the general flow will be, I'll give you the matchup. You kind of talk about each game, it kind of introduce the game, give your general thoughts. Your job is to, well, not in round 1 because we're going off the polls, but your job will be to convince us which game moves forward. And we'll either agree with you, or if we disagree, we'll give you our counterpoints, and then we'll kind of hash through it until we can agree on a winner. You are allowed to try to overrule the poll if you think the community was like just
wrong,
absolutely dead wrong. Like, what were you guys thinking? But you'll have to provide a pretty convincing argument for it. But you can overrule if you see the need to. So with that being said, match 1, we have our number 1 seed, Half-Life 2, going against the number 16 seed, League of Legends.
How are they seated?
How are they seated?
Yeah.
Great question. Even though you helped me do the seating, I will explain it to you because I should have explained it for the audience. So these games were seeded using the average overall rating from, I think, 2 or 3 different review websites. So we found the average rating, put them in order 1 through 16, and then the matchups were determined using the NCAA March Madness, college basketball bracket. So that's how the seedings and the matchups worked. So technically, League of Legends, the lowest rated PC game in the tournament. Half-Life 2, the highest rated.
Tight.
Crazy.
Thank you for that explanation.
You bet. So why don't you kind of introduce the games a little bit, and then we'll head to the poll results.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So we have Half-Life 2, right? Came out in 2004, first-person shooter. I do have notes on all of these, so I do come prepared with some information to level set. Length
It helps.
can't really put it. It varies on play style, but 10-15 hours. It's a first-person shooter set in a dystopian future where an alien race has conquered Earth. Players take on a role of Gordon Freeman, a scientist who must fight his way through alien forces and a corrupt human government to liberate humanity.
Did you say Morgan Freeman?
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
Close.
That sounds like the third chef Gordon Ramsay like kicks off of Hell's Kitchen or something.
Out of here. But yeah, so full disclosure, I've not played Half-Life 2, but I think a lot speaks for it. The fact that it is the #1 seeded game, which means it's the highest rated between critics and players. Do you have that rating handy?
94.5.
Ooh.
Okay. This doesn't sound as impressive because I was going to say tied for the second highest rated game in the entire tournament, but the top 4 games are 95, 2 at 94.5, and then the 4th at 94. So
that's pretty tight.
It's a tight race there for #1 in the entire tournament. So
wow. So we got we got some top-notch matches right out the gate here against the bottom of the rung. Rip.
Yeah, and just for context, League of Legends 78.5 overall rating
because it's so beautifully toxic. Speaking of League of Legends, came out in 2009. It's a MOBA, a very famous MOBA that makes a lot of money all around the world every year. I'll call in Mike to fill in all that information about it.
Pioneer of esports, probably the largest esport that is out there currently all across the world. And like you said, Nick, for a free-to-play game, Riot, the small indie company that it is worth billions. So yeah, I've spent, I believe a couple weeks ago, we were talking about money that we've spent on games, and free gaming came up, and over my course of like playing this nonstop for 6 years straight, I spent way too much money for it being a free game. So yeah, you're welcome, Riot.
Yeah. But for those who don't know, it's a multiplayer online battle arena style game. You choose your champion with unique abilities, and you battle against the other team, 5 versus 5. They're the exact same map every single time. But what varies is who you encounter on that map and how much they will just wipe the floor with you.
Indeed.
And your toxic teammates. Can you talk to the other team?
Oh yeah.
Okay, very nice.
It doesn't have the wonderful title of most toxic game community ever if you can't crap talk your enemies mid-match.
Yes, sir.
The flaming isn't contained to just your team. But yes, poll results. You guys ready? Ready for this?
Yeah.
With 80% of the votes, League of Legends dominates Half-Life 2.
What? Wow. That's shocking. That's shocking. I expect to be closer.
I think
our community is biased.
having not played Half-Life 2. The only knock on League of Legends really is the community.
But isn't that a plus?
I don't know.
To have the best, the most of anything is
that's
an achievement, and be as live as long as it has.
That's true. I mean, decade plus live service game, still going strong. But I feel like it's gameplay mechanics tight, solid. Obviously, there's no story and narrative. The aesthetic is pretty mid. It's like World of Warcraft style graphics. But what it did in terms of like popularizing and bringing esports closer to the mainstream, it's a pretty big deal. And the game is so fun especially if you type /mute all so no one can flame you during the match. It is super fun, and it's highly, highly, highly competitive. So if you're really into the multiplayer competitive games, like it's just chess with mages and warriors and vicious tigers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you have no waiting in between turns, like 0. It's just, well, I guess
That's
if you
true.
die, that's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, and was Half-Life 2 old? Because we did
2004?
cut off. No, the original Half-Life, because Half-Life
Oh,
2 is on here. Because we cut off the games at like the year 2000, or else we'd have like some super old games that some of our younger audience probably might not have heard of. But yeah, I don't know. Do you agree with this? Are you trying to overthrow this?
I agree with the poll.
Okay.
I think the obviously the rating and the toxicity is easily outweighed by the good it has done for the gaming industry, being the number one esports gaming platform that there is. I think that's very important for all of gaming. I don't think that can be understated enough. Granted, Half-Life 2 is probably an incredible story-driven narrative game with awesome mechanics. I just don't think that compares to what League of Legends has been able to achieve.
Yeah, and I think if you ask just like 10 random people on the street, like gamers or not, have you heard of Half-Life 2 or have you heard of League of Legends? I would say the majority probably would say League of Legends.
Half-Life is Valve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a super niche like PC gaming community, like love child. I feel like also.
That's true. Kumino, do you have any thoughts on the matter? Any opinions on either game?
Well, I've played a little bit of League. Didn't enjoy it. But then again, I'm not a competitive person, so maybe that was why. Half-Life 2, I have not played it. It seems like a lot of people haven't played it. But I do know that it has a great story because a friend of mine was actually streaming it. So
Okay.
I would have said Half-Life 2 based off of the story. But then again, like I said, that's because I'm not a competitive person. So.
Nice. Dad, any thoughts on either?
I played.
All right, match 2. No, I'm just kidding.
That's fine because I really didn't have much to say about it, so we're good.
I'm just kidding, man. Rude. All right, League of Legends moves on. Match 2, we have the number 8 seed going up against the number 9 seed. Portal versus StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty.
Dang, man. Portal released in 2007. Now, this is the first Portal. Portal 2 was on our original list, but for one reason or another, we went with Portal 1. I think it was crazy, though.
Simultaneously released on a couple.
That's right. Yeah, 2 is much more accessible at launch. But it's crazy, though, because the critic score and the audience score for both these games were flipped. So their average was identical. I think that was the situation we were in as well.
Interesting.
Earlier. So both amazing games. 2 to 3 hours long. Portal is a puzzle platformer where players use a portal gun to teleport objects and themselves to solve puzzles room by room. It has a quirky sense of humor and a surprising story that does unfold over those short hours. And I've played 2 hours of Portal 1, so I have an hour left to go apparently. And that makes sense because I was looking at the thing because as you move through levels, you can see how far along you are, just like in the game, which is cool because most information is presented to you in game, not like through a menu or anything. So I was like, is it really that short, or am I going to get like open the doors and hit like the next part of the game? But nope, sounds like it is just that. It is fun and a good deck game too. It's got all the motion controls too and everything. So if you move the deck around, you actually move as well. StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, 2010, a few years after this, real-time strategy. Obviously, it's 10-12 hour campaign, but the online multiplayer, endless, obviously, and highly addictive. I knew a user of StarCraft 2. I knew a couple of them. Mod Dib and Mod Dib's left hand. I think they were two peas in a pod.
Yeah, dude, I like how you said user and not player.
Yeah, that's how they described it, like your league addiction. Like, it's a sad state of affairs, but entirely fun.
Yeah.
But quick synopsis is obviously it's a real-time strategy game. In a science fiction universe, players choose to play of three races: the Terran humans, the Zerg Swarm, or the Protoss, and they battle over dominance of a particular sector of StarCraft. Each faction is very different, having very unique capabilities and wide range of gameplay options between them, even within themselves, which led to very competitive online games. And unlike League, where League is very tuned in terms of fairness, StarCraft allows like some really, I don't call them busted because they work, but you're allowed to use them. But like people will do freaky shit to you to win a match in like 30 seconds. Like you don't even stand a chance. The people that are like weirdly good at that game are abnormally good. And the reason I don't get into the multiplayer on real-time strategy games is because I'm more of like the role play, build it, make it look nice.
Yeah.
Kind of play it through my head versus, I'm not trying to get steamrolled in like a minute and a half because someone just went bananas, took Adderall and like beat me.
Now I know you dabble with RTS, but you're more of like a 4X guy. Did you play much StarCraft 2?
I'm originally RTS because I started off on Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2, played the original StarCraft a ton, all on the very old ancient computers back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And then obviously when StarCraft 2 came out, I played that. So yeah, big fan of RTS. And I would say RTS was first and then 4X. And I think that's a natural progression because 4X is just an additional dimension to RTS, maybe two more dimensions. RTS might be 2D.
So how does StarCraft 2 stack up with trying to see if there's other, well, it doesn't matter because that's not the matchup right now, but like in terms of like other RTS games, is it leaps and bounds better? Did it do anything new or anything like especially better than another RTS, or is it just like a good game that like falls in that category? Doesn't stick out much.
Yeah, I think the allure of it is that it's incredibly simple, right? It's not overly complicated and it's polished. Mm-hmm. So with a very base set of rules that are really polished, people can do a lot. It gives them a lot of freedom. So that's why the multiplayer can be like a sandbox for people to figure out really campy ways to win. And largely because the story's like top notch. It's Blizzard, so it's polished, right? Cutscenes, even the cutscenes in like 1998 on the first StarCraft, amazing. For the time. So yeah, typical Blizzard fashion. They bring a lot of polish and revolutionize something when they drop it.
Yeah, another small indie company, Blizzard.
Yep.
Dad, do you have any thoughts on this matchup, either game? I know we haven't done the poll results, but I'll get to them in a sec.
So I've played more of the StarCraft 2, but I played a lot of the original StarCraft. Spent many hours with our good buddy Jordan playing some online StarCraft. Actually, the cool thing about StarCraft and even StarCraft 2 is they allowed it so people can make or create maps in games.
Very big RTS thing to
have. Which is
really
fun. Everyone's throwing maps out there to play with their own styles, whatever. So yeah, that's all I got for that. Very fun.
Nice. Kumino, have you played Portal or StarCraft 2? What are your thoughts on these games?
I played Portal many a times. Had fun playing Portal. Please don't stab me with spears. I've never even heard of StarCraft.
Nice.
So
I'll save my spears for another time.
I'm sorry.
Do you play RTS? That might be why.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Well,
I just never heard of StarCraft. Like, to not get overly complicated into my
do
past
it,
with
do
gaming,
it.
I would just say I would just say when it comes to games, I'm limited because I'm by myself. When it comes to that retrospect of me being more of the nerdy, story driven person and amongst my friends and family. So yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend StarCraft. You should play it.
It's
Let me
so
just
good.
Hearing after what you said about it, yeah, I'm definitely sitting here thinking, I might need to go look into this.
they need to do, so World of Warcraft spawned from another Blizzard RTS Warcraft.
Yes, sir.
We need a World of StarCraft or Galaxy of StarCraft or whatever.
That would be
the
amazing.
MMO version of StarCraft. That would be so cool.
Yes.
I feel like they've tried to make it like 10 times, but they just can't. They just can't do it. It needs to be StarCraft. That's why. Like, it needs to literally be Blizzard making StarCraft MMO. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Starfield won't cut it.
Yeah. Poll results. You ready for this?
I hope Starfield
This
didn't
one's a
make
lot. This one's a lot closer than the first match.
it. No.
With 53.3% of the
Ooh.
votes.
That's tight.
StarCraft 2, Wings of
Yes.
Liberty moves on. I should have been like loses and Nick's celebration, premature celebration. All right, moving along. Match 3, we have the number 5 seed Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic going up against the number 12 seed Total War Shogun 2. I feel like this is a painful matchup for you, Nick.
You know, it might not be by the time I get to the end of them. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Star Wars, Knights of the Republic, not to be confused with the MMO, the Old Republic, but that is very much based on the success and mechanics and ideology that Knights of the Old Republic was and is, as well as the second one. Came out in 2003, so this is a definitely almost as far back as we can go. It's a role-playing game, 30 to 40 hours, depending on how your play style is. It is your typical role-playing game, right? There's a story going on. You drop in, you are your character, but you level up, get new perks, customize how you want to play, all that jazz. But it is linear though, not to be confused with like a open-ended one. This 2003, but it has that very nice like old school linear RPG thing going for it.
Nice.
But the synopsis is it's thousands of years before the Star Wars movies that we know and everything. And this is the Old Republic era. And this is a time when Jedi are in the tens of thousands. These Sith are also in the tens of thousands. And they're like a legit empire that controls like half the galaxy. So full on war stuff. So Star Wars at a much bigger scale. Long time ago, galaxy far, far away.
Total
What was
War.
that? Yep. And Total War Shogun 2. This one, I got on there because I wanted a Total War game out of that franchise, just because it is a massive franchise of 4X games, and it needed representation on there. Rome 2 would be a good one to pick, but it has kind of like a troubled past. It's kind of it has a No Man's Sky type of arc to it in its life cycle, but not terrible. But came out in 2011. It is sort of the midpoint of Total War style games. I feel like they've gone through like 3 major eras. It's in the middle, like good one, right? Because the old ones are too old, the new ones are too new. So right in the middle is just right.
Nice.
So
the Goldilocks of Total War games.
Right. Exactly. So it's a little bit more on the real-time strategy front of things. Set in field Japan. Shout out Chad. You should play this game if you. I don't know if you could play these types of games. But you take on the role of a dynamo, and you rule over a faction. You pick your faction, and you set out on a campaign to conquer all of Japan. In some brutal fights, sieges, thousands of troops on the field. There's like a chess style over map. So big fan of those types of games.
Nice. And I'll just say this, we said it in the last episode, but as you can see, we've already talked about a couple of sequels and games that are in larger series. The way we determined which game to throw into the bracket from a larger series like Total War, we just took the best rated game in the series. So Total War Shogun 2 on the bracket. You ready for the poll results?
Let me hear them.
Okay. I will, because I'm obligated to tell everyone the results. This one is very shocking, though. I don't know if you guys are ready for this.
I think I know.
Do you know? 100% for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
That checks out.
100%?
That checks out.
Wow.
Because it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars. It's also arguably one of the best Star Wars games ever made. Like, definitely top 3. Like, you'd have to argue about
100% though.
Yeah, because Total War
man.
is a hyper niche like community though of dedicated gamers that have a lot, like 24 games to pick from to play. So like they're in their own little micro solar system of gaming. And if it's not your thing, like there's no way you're picking up. Like anyone can pick up Knights of the Old Republic. Not anyone can pick up Shogun 2 and know what the hell they're doing with their life.
You know, I think this might be a narrative for your region of the bracket that not many other regions are gonna maybe fall into, and that is like the hyper niche games.
Yeah. Yep.
But also in those games being like phenomenally rated, like very highly respected and reviewed games, but for like very hyper specific audiences, you know?
Yeah. And there's just so many types of games too. I know I don't have like the most diverse bracket when it comes to game types. I forget who was actually, I think it was Nintendo.
It was either Nintendo or PlayStation, actually.
I think I thought it would be PlayStation hands down, but Dad, I think, did the math and said it was Nintendo maybe. But yeah, I thought I would. But I guess it's you got to have a computer, right, to play them. Obviously, most of them. And
yeah, that helps.
You know, consoles are more accessible, so I think there's a huge part of the mainstream that just don't get down with some PC games, especially when you are straying into exclusive games you can only play on PC, like Total War, only a PC game. Knights of the Republic, for sure, used to only be a PC game, but I think the second one was Xbox and all that.
Yeah, the second one was Xbox.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next matchup here.
I don't get to argue why Shogun 2 should beat the poll.
Do you want it? Do you want it to? Are you trying to overrule the 100%?
No. I love Knights of the Old Republic.
All right, Dad or Kumino, have you played either of these?
No.
Yes.
All right, you have. Your name tag is blocking your shirt. It's like perfectly censoring out the Kumino.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
There we go. Nice.
Listen. Okay, so Nick said that consoles were more accessible, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I've always found it easier to come across a PC than I did a console. That was
We
crazy.
need to tell Chad like where you're hanging out, because that dude apparently doesn't know PCs exist.
Dude, he's got like a PC just sitting. He has a PC he wanted me to fix, but he can't find it because his like relatives stole it. So like that's how scarce PCs are in the Chadwick family. Like your cousins just come over and loot you for your PC that doesn't even work.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They were like, we need a PC. We don't have one. We'll take yours, Chad, but it doesn't even work. Like it's a crazy market over there. I don't know where he hangs out. That's a good point though. I don't know. I mean, I used to know a lot of friends that the problem is they go and they buy a PC. PCs typically are a lot more money up front to get something that you can game well on versus console. I just know a lot of friends like, you know, even if they get a PC, it, you know, give it 3 years and like it don't work.
Yep.
it sucks. They broke it, etc. So, I think maybe consoles are more reliable because that Xbox One will still run 20 years later. Well, just the
Yeah,
Xbox.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty. I mean, I know a lot of people experience that, Nick, but like in the almost 10 years that we've been friends, I've had 2 towers, and like maybe it's just the type of games I play and the fact that I'm not like the chef, if you guys shout out Discord if you remember, who would try to run every single game on like ultra hyper super max like settings. Like I've never had my PC break on me or like had not been able to play a game, you know.
Well, yeah, it's not that. It's more so it just deteriorates from like neglect. I think is mostly drivers not updating and just starts doing blue screens to death, and they just don't know what to do, and they're like, "Fuck it."
That's true. All right, moving on. Next matchup: Divinity: Original Sin, the number 4 seed, not 2, Nick, 4.
But it's Original Sin 2.
But yeah, that's true. That's true, but it's the 4 seed.
I got you, bro.
No, I'm just kidding. Going up against another number 2, though, and that's Age of Empires 2, the definitive edition. And this one's coming in at the number 13 seed. Does that break your heart, Nick?
Not necessarily. I think it's got a Total War syndrome for sure on Age of Empires. So, but Divinity Original Sin 2, I feel like has the same problem.
Yeah. Well, let's talk it out. Introduce these games, my dude.
Yeah. So Original Sin 2 came out in 2017. It's a role playing game, top down, where you kind of venture around, gather people who become part of your party, and you have talents, they have talents, and it's heavily narrative driven, where lots of dialogue, lots of cutscenes, lots of choices to make. You move around a map where it's not linear, and you don't have to do everything, and kind of how you go about solving things is how the game kind of takes shape over time. So kind of sandboxing in that sense.
Is it turn-based?
It is turn-based combat, yes.
Oh, I know. I've had this in my library forever. I'm just like too overwhelmed to fire it up.
And there's like 8 but that's the other thing is like there's 8 story characters that you can play as, and depending on which one you pick depends on how it starts, yada yada, and then you know how all that goes. But you can also completely create your own character. So it's just like a bottomless pit of narrative to be had. So Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, we went with this because this is a type of game where a definitive edition, a remake, a refresh, whatever you want to call them, does all the benefit for it. Because these games originally coming out in the 2000s, the first one was like in 1995 or something. They just get dated when it comes to like mechanics. It's like it would be like playing a version of League from 1998. Like there's just things that need to be like cleaned up and freshened up to be better compatible with modern PCs. But that is real-time strategy, and it takes place in each Age of Empires takes place in a little bit different period, but this one's very much the medieval, which is a lot of people's favorite time period, because when you just have thousands of, well, in this sense, hundreds of swords and crossbows and all kinds of things just going at it on a field of battle, top down.
Nice. The poll results. We have Divinity Original Sin 2 beating out Age of Empires 2 with 53.3% of the votes. So it's another close one. Another close one, I think probably determined by just a couple of votes. So Divinity.
No.
Moving on.
Age of Empires 2.
You're throwing out your first veto. Okay.
Yeah, I veto this. It's bull crap.
Let's hear it.
Age of Empires 2 is just like it was a big game. It might be a niche community, but it's like a big game that I feel like everyone in the branch off niche communities of RTS and all that, they've played Age of Empires because it's like it's the base model of everything. Like you got to start there. And if you haven't, you got to double back and just check it out. Because Microsoft, they, like Minecraft, they cornered the RTS mechanics, the gameplay, they were always like top notch. They're kind of like the Blizzard in that sense when it comes to their RTSs. When it comes to like non-Blizzard ones, it was the one to be. And huge, well, again, niche multiplayer community. But that one's actually a lot more fun. A little less campy and cheesy, but still doable. In Age of Empires, trick with that one is the online play is like it is a grind almost no matter how you play it, unless you play with like game settings that make it not a grind, but it makes it a little slower or a little longer to get the build up and then like launch the attack. Whereas like you play Zerg and StarCraft, you can like do some campy stuff in like a minute and a half. So what more do you need? Do you not accept? Do you accept my veto?
I don't know. Let's talk it out with the panel. So, Kumino, do you have opinions on either of these two games, and or Nick's argument in favor of Age of Empires 2?
Honestly, I'm siding with Nick. Age of Empires, my good homie Robert, he's the one who got me into RTS games, and this Age of Empires is one of the first ones that I played. So it has a special place in my heart. So I can't argue it.
Specifically to
not specifically to, but but I mean Age of Empires in itself, just I like it.
2 is arguably the best one though. So of that, at least community wise, it is huge. Like people were still playing 2 until the definitive edition came out, and everyone just moved over to definitive edition because it was just a modernization of the game. But I think originally 2 came out in 2099.
Wow.
So people still multiplayed on 2 to the day definitive came out.
And definitive came out
2019.
So 20 years. Holy cow.
It holds up.
Dad, your thoughts?
I will also side with Nick, even though I would probably play Divinity Original Sin 2 over Age of Empires 2, but I'll side with Nick.
I think it comes down to something like, okay, so admittedly, not played either of these, but this is what's going through my head right now. When you think of RTS, I think of StarCraft, Age of Empires. There are a ton of RTS games, just like there are a ton of turn-based RPG games. But when you think of turn-based RPG games, what game comes to mind? Baldur's Gate, not Divinity Original Sin.
Right.
I don't know how close Baldur's Gate and Divinity Original Sin are in terms of like their loop and mechanics and all that. But I think the fact that Age of Empires 2 had been played for 20 years, like the original game was played all the way up until 2019 when the definitive edition came out. That was really hard to say. The fact that game lived on for that length of time tells you something about the quality of Age of Empires 2, and the fact that in a genre that is loaded with games. I mean, the RTS genre is to computers almost like, an FPS genre is to a console, I think. I might get slain in the comments for that, but I think the RTS genre is a pretty huge genre on PC. But the fact that it can stick out right up there neck and neck with, StarCraft, which, a lot of people consider to be, one of the top RTS games, is pretty impressive. So I'm cool with the overturn. Sounds like the judge panel is in consensus here. So we're gonna have our first veto.
Wow.
So notes here, just as we're I think halfway through the round one. First, I apologize for taking so long on round one, but We're having a lot of upsets, actually. 3 of the 4 have been upsets, quite the opposite of our Xbox division. But moving right along, we have our number 6 seed RimWorld going up against the number 11 seed Darkest Dungeon. Personal favorite of mine.
Yikes. Yeah. So RimWorld, full release in 2018. It was in early access game for a number of years. But the full release was in 2018. It's a colony simulation strategy game. So a little different here on the bracket so far. We have not had one of these yet. But you take control of, first you set up your scenario where you crash land, top down 2D, pixel graphics basically. But you crash on square based. You crash on a planet, you have some colonists. Everyone has very hyper specific traits, skills, personality quirks, addictions, anything you could think of. Like, the simulation mechanics here are very deep, to the point where people get hooked on alcohol, drugs, and like that affects what they do and how they act, and they have interpersonal relationships. It's a lot.
It is.
But you got to manage your resources and defend against raiders that attack and can kill your colonists. And then there's a kind of like a macro. You zoom out to the whole planet, and there are places you can go on missions where you take some of your colonists and go on a mission and get special resources and even trade and stuff like that. So it's a pretty deep game. Definitely a good one. I have played it quite a bit, not as much as Dad though, or Crossland.
Madeeb. I'm so happy that I saw the origin of his name.
I know, isn't that fun?
Anyways.
Next, so obviously the other one here, Darkest Dungeon, came out in 2016. This is a personal favorite of Michael. He did live stream it, like a playthrough
First
of it.
First game we streamed for Showboys podcast. Showboys game, I should say.
Yes, sir. Role-playing game dungeon crawler with very unique mechanic of, what is it? Stress. Stress will kill you in that game, literally.
Almost killed Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, both in game and out of game.
Yeah. So because of that, it emphasizes like a psychological horror element in management of your characters, not just like their resources, their loot, and all that stuff, but and their attrition, but like their stress. And also, as I understand it and watch Mike play, I need to play it. I own it, but like it prevents you from progressing in the dungeon, even because you might get too stressed out. It's basically like a third vital sign.
Yep.
Health, food, and like stress.
Yep. Yeah. It's very stressful and intense turn-based tactics game. Absolutely beautiful graphics. The hand-drawn art style is amazing and has a lot of really, really cool mechanics in it. Are you ready for the results here?
Oh dear.
You just deared. 53.3%. The winner is Darkest Dungeon.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Whoa.
I really hope you don't veto this, because that
veto.
You can't. Only our representative can.
I will.
He looks like he's thinking about it.
What was the percentage?
He's just being a jerk.
What was the percentage?
53.3.
Yikes! That's so pretty close there, buddy.
Yeah,
that's pretty close there, man. Oh dear. RimWorld's so good, but Darkest Dungeon is also super good. Oh no. Also very, very hot on the Steam. Probably both overwhelmingly positive. Maybe not Darkest Dungeon.
I'll check real quick while you're thinking through this.
Shoot. Do I want to push RimWorld through or Darkest Dungeon? I kind of want to veto this. It's so close in the poll. Man.
Darkest Dungeon, very positive on Steam.
Yeah, it is very positive. Yeah, we'll go with Darkest Dungeon.
It's overwhelmingly positive, though.
Yeah. It's tricky, but I think we'll let the poll sit on this one.
Okay. What was going through your head while I set up the next match?
So this one I veered toward how good like an RPG Darkest Dungeon is, and like
Mm.
the uniqueness of it. Whereas like RimWorld, another very niche thing you're gonna pour hours into. Like you gotta be in the simulation and all the psychotic stuff that goes on in there, and building. Very good building too. Very fun base design and stuff like that. But very niche. Darkest Dungeon though, like it's kind of got a what's the space
Lovecraftian?
no the scary space game that I need to play.
Oh, Dead Space.
Dead Space.
It's Dead Space. In terms of being like anyone can mostly play it. More people can play it, but like for the reason what's going to deter you away is like it's stressful or scary.
Yeah. True.
Let it stand.
This match, first off, I appreciate that. I mean, I do write your checks, but
Yeah, right.
no, I'm just kidding. Jeff's like, we get paid here. Just kidding. No, we don't.
Crap.
We don't. I wish we did. Maybe one day. But moving on to match 6, this one, another near and dear to all of our hearts. Are you ready for this? Number 3 seed Undertale takes on the number 14 seed Valheim. Are you ready for? Well, I'll let Nick introduce the games, and we'll go to the polls.
You're muted.
I'm muted.
Darn it! Thank you.
Oh, I was like,
muted.
oh dang, that's
I was on a
awkward because
roll.
I was just talking for like 30 seconds.
Undertale, released in 2015, role-playing game, 4 to 6 hours in length. It sold a lot of copies, millions of copies. But we won't get too much. That doesn't matter too much when it comes to my bracket. But it's a quirky RPG. I haven't played it, but I've seen people play it and know of it. I feel like Ugly Kid Joe Cross, he played it. He streamed it.
Civ definitely did too.
Yeah, I've definitely seen our stream team. That's where I've been exposed to Undertale. But it basically you choose to befriend or defeat enemies, and has very unique game mechanics and a memorable story. And I remember our stream team talking about how good the story was, and I think the quirkiness adds a lot to what is memorable and lovable about that story.
Yeah. So
maybe something I should eventually play. On the other end of this seesaw, we got Valheim, right? Released early access in 2021. It is an open world survival crafting game. It has no length. It is endless. It is open-ended. It is endless.
It is life.
It is life. It is Valheim. I have a dedicated server running right now. Join our Discord to join. But it, in my opinion, outside of some early successes, but Valheim to me broke survival crafting out of its niche, to where now really anyone can play Valheim. Are they gonna love it? Maybe not, but they can play it and they're gonna try to love it because survival crafting is so hot right now. It's on consoles. Anyone can pick it up and play it. They've melded it into tons of other genres, and you don't even realize you're playing a survival crafter half the time these days. But I feel like Valheim is what burst the seal on that because it was incredibly successful when it launched.
So true.
Took the world by storm. It has the most friends that also own this game for me. So
it is also like, okay, so I'm obviously biased. I love Valheim. I have like not 400, maybe 450 hours, 460 hours, something like that.
You might like it.
But when you say survival crafting, you think of Minecraft and you think of Valheim. And in terms of recent games, when new survival crafting games were coming out after Valheim like reignited or, helped start the new craze of survival crafting, every game was, oh, that's a fill in the blank Valheim example.
Well, the great thing is that, not to derail you, but like Minecraft sat on the throne for just ever, and then Valheim showed up, which was Viking Minecraft, and now everything else is just Valheim something.
Yes.
It's a perfect linear progression.
I forget the vampire survival crafting game that came out.
V Rising?
Yes, V Rising. It was just Vampire Valheim.
Yeah.
Pal World, it's just Pokemon Valheim. Insert whatever survival crafting. It just gets compared to Valheim. Kumino, thoughts on this matchup? See you shaking your head, probably in disgust for our insane love for
I
Valheim.
feel like this was purposely set up just so it could dominate Undertale.
Oh man,
Which
it's
I
seed.
am,
It's
The
seed.
numbers don't lie, bro.
I am so upset. Like I'm like, why?
Why?
So the
Kumino's like, I know how much these guys love Valheim. He's like, no,
right,
don't let it be so.
Like I'm pretty sure Valheim has 100%. Like even
not quite.
Not quite.
it's gonna be pretty close.
96.7.
It's close.
I'm seeing a Kumino like story arc forming so far in March Madness, and that is just him having his heart broken.
yes, I have my heart broken a lot here.
We'll see how the rest of the tournament pans out.
Fans, I'm
Kumino.
sorry, Sans. Oh.
The results, they're in 66.7 for Valheim.
Huh?
Nope. Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, I can read.
I was looking at the wrong one.
I'm just kidding. All right, moving along. No, so what makes Undertale stand out so much to you, Kumino? We'll give it its proper send off like we did for some games in Xbox.
Well, as you guys know, I have not played Valheim yet.
Yeah, wow.
So I don't have a
Tells
dog
you all
in
you
the
need to
fight.
know about this guy.
Right. I don't have a dog in the fight when it honestly comes to the comparison of the two. But again, I am a story-driven guy. Like I like the story to be in my face. That's one of my complaints about Power, that the story isn't in my face. And Undertale, my boy Sans, like I went back and I played this game. I played this game so many times, and like I got on people's nerves saying that you should go try Undertale. So it just hurts me to see that it's going to get just out of there in the first round.
Sorry. Just yeeted right out of the bracket.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pay its due respects when we'll all go play it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad you played it multiple times, so many times actually. I'm glad. That's good vouching right there.
Yeah. But don't get it twisted. I will go give Valheim a try. I just got to have the money to buy it.
Do you have Game Pass?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yes, I do have Game Pass. But like, will it be connected to y'all server? Oh, it would be.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well,
I say that very confidently. I'm like 80% sure that crossplay is a thing.
Okay.
It should be. I don't know if anyone has connected from an Xbox, but yeah, we can give it a try. That'd be a good idea. I don't know if Bio it has or not. I don't think it has.
Bio has it on Steam, I believe. But moving right along to our 7th matchup, we have Stardew Valley, the number 7 seed, going up against Civilization 5.
Civ 5?
The number 10 seed. Have at it, Nicholas.
Yeah, so Stardew Valley came out in 2016. It's a simulation role-playing game. It's a relaxing simulation game where players inherit their grandfather's farm. Players can grow crops, raise animals, befriend townspeople, and explore the surrounding area. This game is literally came out on everything eventually. Like it's on your phone. And it's a nice little game. Nice little pixel graphics, kind of throws you back to the 90s. Nice music track, calming, peaceful, and don't gotta be anywhere too quick in that game. On the other hand, we have Civilization 5. This came out in 2010. It previously held the title of the most hours on my Steam page before Valheim took it down. I'm pretty sure it took it down this past winter. But this is turn-based strategy, 4X game. And basically, like a lot of other games in the PC bracket, you pick something. You pick a civilization, and then even in cases, you pick a leader from history to represent that civilization for you to play at for different perks. And you are on a giant checkerboard. In this one, it was the first game where it became hexes. So a giant hex board of places to move your units around, found cities, build roads, all that stuff. But super high level. It's basically like chess on lots of steroids, methamphetamines, and natural adrenaline in there. So
it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's intense.
You ready for the poll results?
Yeah, let's hear it.
66.7% in favor of Stardew Valley.
Wow.
And I know we're going to get pushback because Nick is a Civ super fanboy. But I would say there's an argument for Stardew Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It to my knowledge, at least for someone outside of this genre, created like this cozy genre. Like I think that's
Yes.
what it's called. Like Ugly Kid Joe Cross, he's a cozy game guy. And this one kind of, I don't know if it created it, but it definitely pioneered it and brought it into the mainstream. This game's massive, been on my wish list for like 5 years probably.
You know, it
but
brought
Civ
the
5 is right there too with the 4X game. Like it's massive and a massive franchise.
Yeah, it's tricky, but I mean, I do like the argument for Stardew Valley because I mean, you have a good point. It brought the role playing to the cozy, like for the masses games kind of thing, like Farmville, all those like internet Facebook games, stuff like that. Like it has all those vibes and all those like repetitive, like come back and do it mechanics, but adds like townspeople. It gives it that Pokemon effect where it's super both polished, but also very pleasing and just peaceful and easygoing. And now the fact that it's on everything, like if someone's like, I'm trying to play whatever, like you just go play Stardew Valley if you haven't, because that will be your foot into the world of RPGs. If you know, so it's almost like it's a
the gateway drug into RPG.
It gets them like, you should buy a PC. You know, and then before you know it, their Steam library is just flooded with the Undertales of the world.
Yeah. Dad, thoughts on these two games? Surprised by the poll result?
No, I'm not surprised.
Okay. Kumino?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's so easy for you to dip your foot in. Like my son, who is a avid Fortnite and NBA 2K player,
nice
has played Stardew Valley. So yeah.
and like if someone hasn't, like you got a phone, why not go play it? Like, is it free? I don't think it's free.
No, it's
like,
not free. It's
like
$15, and I have not bought it because I'm waiting for it to like not. Even though it goes on sale for $7, I'm like, it's not cheap enough. It's not cheap enough. I need to hit that.
He's waiting on that
range.
good. He's waiting on that good $4.99 sale. I'm telling you,
right.
I've been
waiting for like 5 years. I don't think it's gonna happen.
This holiday season, I got it from mobile, and it was like $2-3.
What?
Yeah, it went on. It goes on deep sale sometimes.
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's
think
just
that's
the
how my
holidays.
son got it because he was playing it on his phone.
Okay,
I bought it with the Google Rewards opinion money. Like I was like, heck yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So are you allowing the poll to go through?
Yes, I'll allow it.
Oh my goodness, that is the shock of the night. Because you're a Civ boy.
I'm a Civ boy.
Wow.
I'm a Civ boy.
Geez.
I've played the whole Civ series. I didn't play one, but one came out in like 1992, and I was born 1991. So
what are you waiting for, dude? What kind of Civ fan are you?
I don't know.
Holler Nick just up there.
Like, yes, Civ 1, it's like Putin, or it would have been Hitler, and who would have been the German St. Peter, no, not St. Petersburg. Anyways, go on. I'm trying to think.
I actually got it wrong. It was 66.7 in favor of Civ. Just kidding. No, it really was Stardew.
Don't make jokes.
Why you hurt that man's heart like that?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to repay him for your heartbreak, Kumino.
But he didn't do it.
I got the heartbreak.
It was the poll.
All right.
All right. Our final match in round 1. We have the number 2 seed, Minecraft.
Oh, boy.
Juggernaut going up against another Juggernaut, but lower rated number 15 seed, World of Warcraft.
Whew,
How do
15 seed?
League of Legends and World of Warcraft come in at 15 and 16? That's crazy.
Because people love them so much. When they hate it, they hate it.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an X becomes an X in your life when you get rid of
That
it.
is
Like
so
it's gone.
true, dude.
Like you don't just like cordially like forget about it. You're like
Yeah.
that no, you ruined it.
Yeah.
You ruined my life.
But then you have like those
I lost my
those
family.
random times where you're like, but we did have some good times. Like, there were
Yeah.
some fun memories.
Yep. Yeah, you have those too.
But
Exactly.
you also just completely ruined my life.
Yeah. I bet people legit have lost their family over both World of Warcraft and League of Legends, and that is what contributes to most of the negative ratings.
All right, so let's hash it out. Minecraft.
Okay, it came out in 2011, and it has just sat tippy toppy all the way until 2021, in my opinion, when Valheim came out. Solid 10-year run. I feel like it came out before that, but I guess not. The original Sandbox Survival, I would almost say.
Mhm.
You'd have to tell me what the original one was, and I'll be like, no one's heard of it. But it's a sandbox game where like it became the point where it was a sandbox of games within a game, much like Roblox. And then there's the crafting part of it where people just go into like creative mode and they just build the most insane things. And like you can have stuff look blocky and have that look to it and be pixely. Or I've seen people like just go very detailed on the blocks where it's like it's 4K, where like you're zoomed out and you're like, is that Minecraft? And it's so good. But yeah, Minecraft, pretty self-explanatory, big game. Another one that's pretty self-explanatory is, I mean, everyone's heard of Minecraft. I don't got to talk about that one too long. And then this one, these are probably the two most known games
like
in all of
history of
existence.
gaming. Yeah.
Yeah. As well, which is really weird to say that for both of these. And there's World of Warcraft, which is another household name, because both these, they end up on the news a lot of times, especially in the early days. And World of Warcraft came out in 2004, and they just announced like the biggest expansion or series of trilogy of expansions to ever grace the game. And people thought this game was dead 10 years ago, but it's still going, and it's arguably about to maybe enter its like greatest era ever, like all the way broken down. And that's crazy. 2004 came out 20 years ago. That's nuts.
It's crazy.
But
Vampires 2 effect right there.
And it is the massively multiplayer online game that has never been like dethroned, and it's been trying to get taken down for like 15 years.
It's impossible.
Can't be done.
As bad as World of Warcraft is these days,
It's not, though.
Still can't be done.
Yeah. Dude, the last expansion, I don't think it is.
No?
People love it again.
Interesting.
And they are mega pumped for a trilogy of sequels or expansions.
Wow.
Big yikes.
60% of the vote. Any guesses?
Minecraft. Duh.
Minecraft? No, World of Warcraft.
Oh, I also realized it's Battle of the Crafts.
Yes. Who is the better craft? The mine or the world?
The better craft is Minecraft. 60% of the votes dethroning the unkillable World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
it just in this particular case, it's the simple fact of bad matchup in the first round. That's all it is.
That's tough. That's tough.
Dad, thoughts?
I'm a Minecraft guy, so
okay. I think we're gonna. Nick, are you doing what I think you're about to do? No. Okay. Interesting.
I was clearing my throat. I was just saying, drink of water.
So no vetoes for you.
Oh, is it that time?
Yeah.
I gotta think about
never
this.
better than now.
Oh,
I'll throw out a question. Okay. We all just got done. All except for Kumino just got done fawning over survival crafting, the game that reignited the genre.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got done saying that no MMORPGs have been able to kill World of Warcraft.
Correct.
Mm,
That's my point.
that's a good point.
And going back to the thought process we had on a few games in the Xbox division, and I'm sure we'll have in the Sony and Nintendo divisions, with two games that are excellent and fantastic and really hard to distinguish a better game between. My default is to always go back to what does it do in its genre or with its, like competitors.
Mm-hmm.
World of Warcraft has for 20 years stood head and shoulders over every other MMORPG that those games they don't only lose to World of Warcraft, they also cannot survive. They come and go, a flash in a pan, a year or two, maybe 3, maybe 5, then they're dead. World of Warcraft has stood the test of time. Minecraft also has stood the test of time, but people are talking a lot about other survival crafting games. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
I mean, that was the point that I was thinking about, because World of Warcraft is just like it's just the king of it. It is more known. I would have to say it's tricky. There's a lot of weird generational mixes these days. I don't know what is the more household name. But
I'd say
and pop culture, like it's tough. It's tough. But Minecraft, right? It has the possibility to like fade away, but I don't know if it ever will. Like any of the main survival crafters ever will. Like I don't think Valheim will ever fade away. Once they're there and they make their mark, they're there. World of Warcraft, and I'm kind of looking. I'm looking at the criteria though, like for these two, and it's like, guys, I gotta argue this against like semifinals. So I gotta have the best game to go against whatever is coming at me from the Sony division, also, which is going to be, both of these are going to be impossibly difficult to defend against Chad and his RPG juggernauts that he will die on every hill about for. So it's hard. You're muted, Mike, and
it's probably best because I was just talking about cheating. So, so all you just slip us a 20 or something, and I'm sure your argument will sound very compelling. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, but you need to present your case so the judges can decide, do our jobs.
Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna try to veto this for World of Warcraft. Just because like it's tough though. They're pretty. It's tough. It's really tough. But I have a personal preference for World of Warcraft. Does Minecraft have the South Park episode? Like that might be the tiebreaker.
Good point. Good point. I mean, Minecraft has had its place in pop culture, but I don't think it's has not been in the zeitgeist as long as World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so here's why I need World of Warcraft to go forward over Minecraft. And that is for the story narrative portion of this. And we're talking the story of Warcraft, the infinite well that is of good lore, cinematics, our movies. It has a movie. I think I just don't think Minecraft's the best foot forward there. It's got its thing going, but
I mean, you could say it could be neck and neck in gameplay mechanics and innovation.
Yes.
Maybe fun factor, but
aesthetic,
then story narrative, aesthetic, and community engagement. Well, I don't know. I think, man, it's tough. What do you think?
Yeah, community engagement is tricky. I think you're gonna ask Dad.
Yeah. What do you think, Dad?
I mean, you're talking different generations for these games. Like all my kids, for example, love Minecraft. They know nothing about WoW.
Yeah.
I know about both of them. Played both of them. It is tough because they're juggernauts in their own genre. I'm good with whatever Nick decides.
Kumino.
All right. To go off what he was just saying, that Minecraft, the kids that are now adults, they love it. Minecraft has had so many, I guess you would call mods or whatever you want to call them, added into it to where it actually has story RPG games to it.
Mm-hmm.
It has hunting games to it.
It has a Pokemon game.
Yes, yes, and they're working on a new style Pokemon game for Minecraft now.
Dang.
Like Minecraft just has so much, and being the original survival builder game, like you have to know more people are gonna know about it, especially since it's newer. Because you got to remember, we're catering to newer audience. That's going to be the one. World of Warcraft, yeah, it's been around.
Yeah,
I remember when it first came out and getting the demo of it and being able to play it. And in all honesty, I thought it had died because I haven't heard nothing else from it since after the movie.
Yeah.
So
rest in peace. That was a fabulous movie.
Yes, it was.
So good.
But Minecraft just has to be it.
That was a good argument for it.
No, it really wasn't.
It was.
It really wasn't.
I could have did better, but we only got so much time.
Yeah. Well, it's up to the judges, right?
Well, I mean, it's really up to you.
It is?
Well,
poll wins. Judges seem passionate to middle to, I don't know what Mike thinks.
I would probably lean more towards WoW, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's close because they're both pioneers.
Yeah.
Big sad.
They're both doing.
All right, give it to the kids.
Give it to the kids.
Give it to the kids.
Papa Nick.
Give it to the kids.
Yeah, you've been on this paternity leave for too long, apparently, Nick.
Yeah. So the only thing that you have to do is just go play you a bit of Minecraft, and then you'll be ready for any argument that they bring to you.
I mean, I've played a bit of it.
Go play a bit more.
Okay.
And then a bit more.
Yeah. So you gotta download all the variations of it and play each one.
I guess it has a bigger community engagement than I gave it credit for. All right, so we're through round one. Now we get the pleasure of diving into the future rounds. I know round one took quite a bit, so hopefully we'll be able to make these next rounds go a little bit quicker. Back up to the top, number 16 seed League of Legends takes on the number 9 seed StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. So we have no more polls. Now we're just going off of your argument, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So what game would you move forward and why?
All right. For this, I want to move forward League of Legends because
I am not joking. I literally did not see that coming, and I was going to be totally okay with that. I'm shocked.
Okay. Colored you shocked.
Yes.
No, I mean, I want to move forward League of Legends. I think while, it's not the game I play over StarCraft 2, I also don't like really actively play StarCraft 2. Like I played the RPG part of it. Outside of that, once you do the story, it's kind of like sitting on the shelf. What League of Legends, has done in terms of like the MOBA community, but also like the esport community is just like too big to like ignore. Any argument you make why StarCraft is RPG or multiplayer. Like I think League of Legends beats it in both those criterias. Multiplayer obviously is better in or bigger in League of Legends, but then RPG, while it's not a role playing game, the lore that Mike
Dude,
has that he shares with us on a regular basis about these characters, and they're able to make a TV show out of it. Arcane, like RPG, it's there. You're just not playing.
yeah, it goes into that community, that bonus category, that post-launch support, the community engagement, like and even the narrative. While the narrative doesn't actually take place in the game, like it lives on their website, and it is very, very deep and very rich in content for sure.
And now it's 2 seasons of a series.
That's true. I'm okay with it, obviously. Are the rest of the judge panel okay with this?
Yeah.
All right.
Approved.
Look at that.
Woo.
The next match, number 5 seed Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic takes on Age of Empires 2, the definitive edition.
All right, ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're gonna be shocked.
Star Wars.
I don't know if I can be shocked.
Star Wars. Knights of the Republic has to take it because unlike League of Legends, its role playing is in the game, and BioWare.
This was sports.
This was no.
It's in the game.
Didn't EA buy BioWare? Is that how that fell?
Probably, but I was talking literally like you're not a sports ball fan, but it's in the game anyways.
Hey, I played sports ball games on the PlayStation 1. That popped up all the time.
Wow.
I think it comes up in racing games sometimes. Anyway, the thing about Knights of the Old Republic is the first one, 2004 or whatever, but it was just a quintessential like RPG of the time, made by BioWare, who was up and coming or landed already. I forget, but like this is one of the games that helped definitely propel them with their innovative storytelling design, with the choices and options menu to like pick your dialogue and move the characters forward, the party, but also just how detailed like the story narrative was. Like there was cutscenes and character interactions and dialogue. Like it focused so much on that, and it was kind of, it's kind of like an Uncharted in the sense to where you were more like engaged with like the dialogue scenes. Like that's where the magic was happening, not like the gameplay in between. That was obviously fun, like an Uncharted game, but like you're kind of there for the narrative driving along, and it's a really good story too. So it just like crushes it. Age of Empires 2, just too niche to really argue on the broader stage of things, where Knights of the Republic, like if you're an RPG player, not even just a Star Wars, if you were a Star Wars, like you've had to have played it, or RPG, like that's where they flocked.
I'm cool with that. The panel, you guys have any rebuttals, or we're all in agreement here?
With it. You know I'm good with it.
Any game that makes Kumino take his clothes off on the podcast, I will move forward with. Sorry, audio only listeners. You'll just have to go watch the video on YouTube.
That'll be a short.
Yeah. This matchup pains me. We have our number 11 seed Darkest Dungeon taking on the number 14 seed Valheim.
Come on, man.
What's it gonna be, Nick?
This one, it's gotta be Valheim for me. Because while Darkest Dungeon is fun, quirky, and it's got its standout thing, niche going for it in terms of like those types of games, I also find it a little inaccessible for those reasons. Like to even be in that style of kind of like, I don't even know what that like side scroller, like dungeon crawler style RPG is, but like you add in the resource management and then like the very like stressful stressful mechanics to it. I find it a little bit out of reach for just like most gamers, whereas like Valheim, it's like the most accessible thing you could want out there.
Anyone can go pick up an axe and chop down a tree.
That's right, and have
right.
fun doing it too, and might die.
Yeah. Valheim too can be stressful. Don't let it trick you.
It is stressful.
Actually, no. I mean, yeah, in terms of like stress inducing, literally have like it's kind of close to like Rust level. It does imitate some Rust elements without the like psychosis of like the internet being manifested into a
Yeah.
game.
It's not real people terrorizing you. It's
It's just the
it's
games terrorizing
world
you sometimes.
enemies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And forgetting to eat and accidentally jumping off of like one story.
I had
and
3
then-
health. Dead.
Yeah. Rip.
It's in the zone.
The panel. What do you guys have any thoughts or opinions on this? On Nick's choice here?
I'm definitely good with Valheim.
Oh man.
Kumno, you in agreement here?
I mean, Valheim killed Undertale, but I mean, I'm in agreement because of this. I remember Darkest Dungeon on PlayStation Vita.
Whoa.
So like, it
What's it even doing here?
right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even know it was on PC, but like, I feel like it's just too old, and Valheim's here is very popular. I feel like it'll probably be one of the best games that he can take to Sony to make an argument.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am in agreement as well, as it makes me that Darkest Dungeon is bowing out, but Nick's point's very valid. I will sing a swan song for Darkest Dungeon though. For those of you possibly interested in trying this game out, it is difficult and it is intense and stressful, but I think that's part of the beauty of it. It really makes you think and strategize your group of heroes you're taking into the dungeons. It makes you really plan out your battles, all of your engagements in the dungeon. But it also has a lot of really cool mechanics. Like you have a town that you kind of hang out in between dungeons, and when player or heroes get too stressed or too injured, they have to like de-stress or heal themselves. So they have to like go to the bar, go to the brothel, go to the sanctuary to de-stress, like go to the like medical place to heal any injuries. The trait system is super cool. The resource management in the dungeon is very awesome. But those are all gameplay mechanics. What doesn't get talked about much with this game, or at least in this episode so far, its story is awesome. Like it is, if you love Lovecraftian horror stuff, it is cosmic, crazy, like Lovecraftian monsters. Like this, the whole reason you're diving into these dungeons, the story behind it is super interesting, and the final boss battle is absolutely nuts. It was crazy. Go give it a try, but I think Valheim takes the cake here. So we're gonna move it forward.
Sweet.
Do it.
Sorry, thanks for letting me
Die
No,
on
give,
hell.
give Darkest
you did a-
Dungeon
You
some
did a
love.
wonderful job, man.
You did. I kind of want to play it now.
You
but not
should.
really.
And you want to talk about deep discounts, guys? This
Oh,
game,
yeah.
you can get this game for like $2 like very frequently.
Wow.
It's awesome. But moving along, the final matchup here in round 2, Stardew Valley, number 7 seed, against Minecraft, the number 2 seed. Are we going to set up the battle for the ultimate survival crafting game in the next round?
No.
That is the question.
Well, on this one, I'm just gonna take Kumino's line and be like, well, Minecraft beat out World of Warcraft, so like what are we even talking about? Like
Yeah, I think Stardew Valley, the fact that it was able to beat Civ 5 in your mind, like you were okay with that, is enough of a victory for that game. I don't think it could really
Yeah.
stand a chance against Minecraft.
yeah, man. I shouldn't have done that, but whatever.
Do you think Civ would have stood a better chance against Minecraft?
The only thing like Civ can have up on any game, it would be me talking about it because I was just like, guys,
The
this
Nick
game
factor.
is so like like 10x your brain. Like Mike can't even play this game. Like it's so
I can't
complex.
but that's not saying much because I'm dumb. So that was not a great argument on your behalf.
You start off with like a single city and you just conquer the whole map, and the
Yeah.
map just starts empty. They're all out there doing their thing. Diplomacy. There's narrative in it because like just like real life, it's like, God dang it! Like 50 years ago, they took Ukraine from me. I'm taking it back. Like that stuff happens all the
Too
time. You're
soon,
like,
Nick. Too soon, bro.
or too late.
True. All right. I'm cool with Minecraft moving on. Obviously, the panel is big fans of Minecraft. But yeah,
like this
Stardew
game.
Valley. Good job, but we're moving along. But hey, we're in the
This game sucks.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Should be made.
Speaking of 16, we're heading back up to the top. League of Legends, number 16 seed, taking on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, coming in at number 5. Is Nick gonna shock me again, or will he stay tied and true?
I think I know. Wow. So tied and true. I'm gonna guess Star Wars. Shock Mike is League of Legends love.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Oh man.
This regardless, this is the next round is going to be straight fire. Like
Pain.
It's going to be crazy.
Straight in the spice.
Pain.
Yeah.
Oh man, League of Legends against Knights of the Old Republic. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to look at our. I'm gonna have to use our criteria,
Our advanced analytics.
Yeah, to try to break this down. So let's do these one by one. So gameplay mechanics between League of Legends and Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic had a lot of like really cool game mechanics for 2004, right? We're talking an old game. BioWare was like on their crap. Like this is where they're pioneering what set up the next at least 5 years of like great BioWare games before someone bought them and like kind of like ran them into the dirt. And took all their IPs and ran them into the dirt otherwise. Andromeda, I still won't, I'm not over you. But League of Legends, honestly, gameplay mechanics are just top notch to the point where people can min-max their lives away over it. Yeah, that's tricky. Story narrative, Knights of the Republic, gameplay game wise, like it's 0 to 100, like 100%, like one of the best stories ever versus like no story
Like
at
literally, there is not a story
other than like how much you're trash talking your teammates and the other team. Like that's the story narrative going on.
The narrative is game to game, team to team.
Game length 40 minutes of just toxicity.
Yeah, but you look outside the game.
We're talking about the game, Mike.
But it's part of the IP, though, right? It's that.
You said
it's League of Legends. It's It's the lore of League of Legends. It's just not a story you're playing in the game.
I get League of Legends is also the IP name, but we're talking. It's the game tournament.
It's just the game
IP.
Well, we can't talk about anything post-launch community support then.
Oh yeah, we can.
That's literally what I was talking about. This is part of the game. It's the characters in the game, the stories.
Community support. Yeah, because they add new characters and they drop new bios on them. Yeah, I follow you.
It's an unconventional narrative, obviously, because it doesn't exist in the gameplay.
Moving on, aesthetic. Aesthetic. Whew. Aesthetic in Knights of the Republic, while old, was super great because one, it's Star Wars. Two, the way they went about telling this story in it had that Mandalorian vibe. I remember when I watched Mandalorian season 1, I was like, dude, these people have played Knights of the Old Republic because the things that they are doing, they are paying attention to like the streets. They are in the streets of Star Wars, and that's what Knights of the Republic was. You were on the streets of these cities, talking to people, finding clues, figuring stuff out, running around like you were in Star Wars. And that was the craziest thing because it felt like an MMO too, before there was like an MMO Star Wars. But they eventually, it was so good they made an MMO out of these games. But aesthetic for League of Legends, I guess it's super like crisp on the when you play it, and it looks cool. It's not pixel graphics, but it has, like Mike said earlier, like a WoW aesthetic to it. It does look nice for being a 10-year-old game. Like, does it need to be any better than anything? It is.
I'd say the only plus, and I've not played Star Wars, but just as the style of game, like, what is this offering you aesthetically that a deep RPG couldn't be offering you? The only thing I would say is some of the like skins, custom skins for the champs, like some of them are stunning and look beautiful, and the effects of the abilities look amazing. But like combined with everything else, like this should be a no contest for League of Legends. Like absolutely getting demolished in this category.
For the aesthetic?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd just agree with that. Don't go that far. You're too hot on League of Legends, man.
I mean, what could it do better than the Knights of the Old Republic aesthetically?
Wait, Knights of the Republic is the better aesthetic game.
Yeah, I'm saying League of Legends is getting destroyed in this category.
Oh, I thought you said the other way around.
No,
okay.
no.
I follow. Yeah. Okay, sorry. My bad. Innovation. Both very innovative. Because man, Knights of the Republic, they use that, I think, today. Basically that system of dialogue and narrative story. But obviously League of Legends, MOBA, I'll tie them there real quick. Fun factor. Whew. Here's the problem.
Depends on your cup of tea, right?
Depends on your cup of tea. But the problem with fun factor on Knights of the Republic is it is 2004 game, and it could be a little bit of a slog if you try to play it these days. But I think they might have like a newer port of it that plays much better. But it's incredibly fun because it's an RPG, and like if you like Star Wars and you're into those kind of stories, heck yeah. But fun factor for League, it can be real fun until like you're dying nonstop and you lose. I guess it depends on how competitive you are. I liked HOTS because it was like competitive, but not. That was my level of competitiveness versus League is not. It's just a lot. It's really detailed mechanics too. It's a little more to learn, I think. Oh, I can't do it. Why didn't we do Knights of the Old Republic 2? Because it wasn't. I think it was a simultaneous release to Xbox. Yeah, it wasn't an exclusive. That's why. Dang it. Oh man, the age is going to get to Knights of the Old Republic. That's the problem with it. It's an old game. That's the trick.
It's not a big deal. We're not saying
not big deal.
What is like the perfect game to play today? Just what is
the better game?
Was the best game? You know.
Can I have the panel's thoughts?
I mean, I'm surprised League has made it this far.
There's always something in every tournament where you're like, I'm surprised this has made it this far. So like League is going to be that one for you.
Yep. Dad, Kumino.
I've not played either. Well, I take that back. I played a little bit of League with Mike one time, and I was done.
And that was the only time.
Because
that was the last
stupid.
I got so much freaking hate.
Oh yeah, it
was so toxic.
Oh,
it's right up there with EVE Online as being like the least inaccessible game for new players. Like it's just you can't unless you have
trying to jump in, and you're like way up here, and you're trying to jump in, and you're like, I can't do it, and I didn't. Mm-hmm. So I really can't say either way.
Yeah.
Other than Star Wars being Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay. So y'all just took it right out of my mouth because that was exactly about to say. When it comes to League, if you aren't in, you're screwed. Like it is so hard to get into it as a new player.
Yeah.
And trying to convince someone that's on the Sony side that League is a game that can compete with anything that they have, they're just going to laugh at you because they don't care nothing about that.
I can hear
Matter-
Chad right now. What are you talking about?
Are you serious? You're defending
Yeah.
League?
This is literally the
Was
dumbest
this Mi-
thing I've
Was
ever
this
heard
Mike's
in my life.
idea?
So yeah, and as well as come on, like it's Star Wars. Who doesn't love Star Wars?
You know,
You
you know, we are.
argue that alone.
I think I'm understating like the quintessential story that is told in this game and like how good it is too. Like, it's a great RPG. Like,
Yeah, but we're gonna save that for the later round.
yeah,
Yeah,
They don't want to go too deep into your bag of tricks.
right.
I'd say I think I'm not giving away any information from the Xbox episode, but
what's the live poll say? No,
this is live poll. Yeah, I wish. This is League of Legends, the only strictly multiplayer game that has like 0 single player campaign. So
true.
that I think automatically takes it down a
Yeah.
notch.
Let's go
Because
Star Wars.
you can't argue that aspect in this game. So every other game has, unless the single player game in all of the other regions is just absolutely horrid, like that's an automatic plus for whatever game it goes against. Kids, my swan song for League of Legends, don't play it.
Yep.
Don't just
drug.
no, it's not that, it's not good for your mental health. Just don't
Most
don't do it.
addictions aren't.
Just watch
True.
the pros play and enjoy the esport. That's what I do now.
Or watch the show.
Or watch Arcane and enjoy that because it's fabulous.
Yeah.
All right, Valheim, 14 seed, Minecraft number 2. Hope you guys
Tough.
have like another 30 minutes for Nick to
Tough.
talk about this one.
Man, Valheim is like the new Minecraft, but then Minecraft is like the original
The
Valheim.
OG.
So it's
The original Valheim.
That's how I refer to it. That's from now on to all Minecraftians. I'm gonna be like,
That's
oh, the
hilarious.
original Valheim. Gotcha. Cool story, bro. Oh yeah, that's tough. Shoot, man. See, Minecraft's too pixely for me. Where Valheim's like just the right amount of pixels.
Especially with that 4K mod pack that you can go watch how to install over on Showboys Gaming.
Oh man, that video's shredded so bad in the comments. Oh man. Oh, gameplay mechanics. Who's better gameplay mechanics? I think Valheim, but like Minecraft is like the template. These two can't go against each other. It's not fair.
Well, I got bad news for you. They are.
It's
And
happening right now.
I'm sure Kumino does have to go to work at some point this evening. So
Oh, do you? Don't do it.
I wish
Hey,
it
you're
was
the
that
boss.
simple.
What
Wish
do
it
you
was
got?
that simple.
What do you got to say about Valheim and Minecraft?
it's you're convincing me, we're not convincing you.
Oh man, really?
You got to think too. What are you going to have the best argument with against Chad?
Exactly. That's what I'm going for. That's the tough part.
Man, I don't know. I think
That's the only criteria that matters. How do we beat Chad?
mods out of the picture.
Right.
Valheim does have
A story.
a story loosely. It's still years after release, years after early access. It's still not fully made and is like the new survival crafting game that could arguably have dethroned Minecraft. It's getting like very frequent content updates and additions, and man, it's just the new and improved Minecraft with Vikings. Like Vikings just make everything better.
Right. It's Viking Minecraft. So like gameplay mechanics, like to me, Minecraft seems just like a little flat, but it is the template. Whereas Valheim takes that and adds some layers to it, to where there are physics of you in the world, or like the world's actively trying to kill you. Not that it isn't in Minecraft, but like to me,
Not as aggressively.
not as aggressively, correct, and like not with that sense of like, you're in the Black Forest or you're in the plains. Like I don't know if that sense of dread exists in
Probably not. But
so like in terms
for
of
me, I
gameplay,
just shuddered.
yeah, in terms of, or like you are in you're in the swamp, but Mike, that's where he like flutters versus shudder. But like gameplay mechanics, I'll see like they're both like in terms of like how they actually work versus Valheim's like the newer version of it that puts a spin on it, and I think is the first one to really land like, hey, we're gonna put a spin on Minecraft, and that's what we get, and that's what spawned everything else. Go, Dad.
I was gonna say there's an immersion.
Yes,
I don't know if that's the right word,
you
but
got it.
that is very heavy in Valheim. You are in the game, like
Yeah.
you feel it, like,
And that goes with the aesthetic. Like you are in the game, and there's no like just kind of like hanging out. I mean, you can, but you got to build something to just hang out about. Otherwise, you're dead. You will die eventually.
I feel like
Yeah.
if we say that catchphrase like 2 more times, EA is going to sue us.
it's in the
Yeah,
game.
You're in the game.
Well, that's it.
And like story narrative, there is
EA,
one.
I did not open my mouth.
Both mics are innocent here.
Right.
The aesthetic's better. I think it was innovative on top of the base being Minecraft. It was innovative over that because it cornered the like, you can make a new Minecraft and not make it Minecraft, right? It's Viking, it's Pokemon, etc. And like the fun factor, incredibly fun. Obviously, Minecraft is incredibly fun for all ages. They're probably tied there. I mean, that's probably just a flavor of what do you want to play? Power World? You want to play Enshrouded? You want to play Minecraft? You want to play Valheim? You want to play V Rising? What do you want to do?
I think it's more of a generation divide there.
Yeah, that's just pure same amount of fun factor. It's just who's playing.
Yeah.
All right.
Who has more friends playing? That's what it is, and that's a generational thing.
Yeah.
Community engagement, that one's tough. They both got like very active communities in all regards. They basically copied each other in that sense.
Yeah.
So Valheim?
Yeah, I want to do Valheim.
I'm good with it.
Same. Kumino's.
Thumbs up.
Sorry, brother.
Valheim.
All right, so that puts us at the final matchup here of the PC division to determine the final 4 representative. That is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the number 5 seed, versus Valheim, the number 14 seed. Nick, who is your choice for the PC representative in the final 4?
I wish Chad went first so I could see who won his bracket.
No,
Don't
that's
let him
cheating.
see.
I see you in the bracket. I don't want you to see the Xbox results.
I have it just to my screen, but I scrolled up
cool.
to see Sony. I'm like, he didn't do Sony yet, so I was going to cheat.
That's cool.
But I was like,
He was going to. You can't.
I knew I
But
made
I
you go
can't.
first for a reason because Chad doesn't know how to use sheets.
good call. Good play. Well played. Knights of the Republic versus Valheim. What to do? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to have to replay Knights of the Republic before this match with Chad. It's possible. How long is that game? Hot dog diggity.
Yeah, you should be able to replay it.
Yeah, no, I think I have it on like this. It's in my Steam library. So I've got it. Dude, Knights of the Republic, Valheim. I think for a lot of good reasons, I'm gonna have to go with like Knights of the Old Republic against Valheim over Valheim. Obviously, it's going against it. But Valheim is going to run short on RPG factor, accessibility, and like funness because it's not fun for everyone. Not everyone's going to play those types of games. Again, PC being super niche. Not that Sony RPGs aren't, but I just feel like there's no generational divides in those games. Like if you're a Spider-Man fan, you're picking up Spider-Man 2 because it's the hottest release yesterday. Dad's buying it. Dad's buying it for his kids.
I got it. Beat
His
it.
kids are buying it for their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got it planned out. We've got a whole plan.
Oh yeah. For as great and deep as Valheim is in the crafting and survival aspects, it is equally as shallow in the RPG sense of the game, and narrative. So
yeah, and it's not gonna drag you through it either. Like I know people that try to play and they're like, I don't know what to do. Nothing's happening. Some boars attacked me and I gave up. Whereas like Knights of the Republic, like it'll suck you in. And it's gonna be a lot of fun too. As like I don't know what category this falls into, but like you're gonna play this game and be like, oh, like this was done in 2004. Like this is done everywhere now. Or like you can see where BioWare started, kind of thing. Even though I think it was like mid game for them. I don't remember what their like first release was, but it was a quintessential corner piece to.
Yeah, that's an important factor. It goes into the innovation category, I think.
Yeah.
I am totally cool with that. Your argument was very valid, Kumino.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're wearing a Star Wars shirt. I mean, come on.
Star Wars.
I mean, but still though, like at the end of the day, survival crafting is fun, but it's missing that RPG aspect. And until someone comes along and add that and put it in your face outside of scattering notes or memos throughout the land, it's always going to fall short.
Yeah, and I think Minecraft would have had the same issue going up against Knights of the Old Republic too. It's just it's also a similar vein to like a League of Legends or multiplayer only game. It's not it doesn't contain everything that like a game usually does, but what it does contain, it does like super well. So Dad, you're in agreement too?
I'm good.
I'm surprised.
All right, here we are, guys. End of the episode. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the representative from the PC division, number 5 seed. I know we're running long here, so we'll wrap it up quick. But shorts, the TLDR, a lot of upsets.
Big upsets.
And
big upsets.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the PC division, of course, is on the opposite side of the bracket as Xbox. So next week we will be heading into the Nintendo division, and the winner of the Nintendo division will be facing off against the winner of the Xbox division. So tune in for that. Jared from Play Along Podcast will be joining us. And until next time, make sure you subscribe and follow Nick's Lego Instagram account. We'll have a link in the episode description.
Yes.
Enrich Bricks.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Enriched Bricks.
Yeah. Enriched. There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you around. And until next time, you guys have a wonderful night.
Ooh,
or morning.
Ooh, yeah.
Colors of our shirt almost match.
Almost.
I'm gonna go
not
shut off the
quite.
light.
Not quite. Colorblind Mike is.
The same color family.
Yeah.
They're like second cousins, though.
So what's going on? What are we doing? Look at this. Look, it's neon pink. Mike, you sound like you turned the sewer effect on your 1998 PC.
Sewer effect?
Dad knows what I'm talking about. He's old enough and smart enough. I was outside a lot today. Got some yard work done. I have 21,000 steps.
You went to work.
I think you're better now.
I think you're better too.
Yeah. Stop booming so hard, man. I'm a fan of the best of the best of the best of the best things.
Speaking of the best of the best of the best of the best.
Macho Madness. Ooh, yeah.